So, hello everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Estafet that we continue to go around the globe. But for now, we are staying still in Portugal. And today we have with us dear Mario, and we're very happy that he joined us today and happy for your time. Mario, how are you today?
Well, I feel well. I'm resting. I worked the weekend in the training, so it's a nice day for me.
Nice. We interrupt a little bit your free day.
Yeah.
So let me bombard you with a few questions right away.
Right.
So if you can introduce yourself and tell us where you're from and where you're living now.
Yeah, from Portugal, and I'm living in Portugal. And yeah, I'm 56, almost 57. And I'm training regression therapists and transpersonal psychotherapists since 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So I've already 17 years on the go. And yeah, let's say I come from philosophy and I studied psychology later, already in this field in the kind of 1996. So yeah, I'm very involved. I'm very devoted to this field. I'm training always since the 2005. We never stopped any year. So we already have some hundreds of therapists working, and I'm still passionate by it. In our institute, we have a strong focus on in this life. We also teach past lives, also with Hans Tendam. He comes here every 2 years. But we have a strong focus on this life and in the perinatal and the birth process in regression therapy. And we also include intensively the transpersonal psychology approach, because we have a 4-year training. So our training, it lasts 4 years with supervision and psychotherapy included. So it's a big project, and we have a big team of 15 persons. Wow. And I'm in it with my partner, Julia van Rient, a Dutch, the first Earth president. We are together, and we do this together, let's say, with the help of our team. So yeah, it's a little bit. I have 3 daughters, and yeah, I have a life, let's say.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And what is the name of your institute for everyone to know, and where is located?
Yeah, it's in Lisbon, and it's called Alma Soma. Transpersonal Instituto Transpessoal.
All right, amazing. And so, such a long already experience for so many years. How did you actually arrive to regression therapy in the first place?
Oh yeah, I was wanting already as an adult, after I was a school teacher. And then I felt a huge urge to study psychology, and I went to do a clinical master in psychology. And in my research part, I was wanting to research something out of the ordinary. So I was not wanting to go for psychoanalysis, or I was wanting something practical, but not, let's say, more traditional fields. Yeah, so one day a blessed friend came to me and said, well, you should study this. And I get a passion by regression therapy. I was not a client in that time. I was not knowing much. I had read a book, I think. This goes to 1996, 1995. So more than, long ago, let's say, more than 30 years ago. And yeah, I was passionate, and I was accepted in my university, and it started like that and never stopped. So I'm still now going from that initial moment, and the passion stays, and so the pleasure on doing it. So yeah, keep going.
Right. So if there, for sure there were, I don't know, do you ever count how many clients you had in regression therapy?
No, I don't do that kind of statistics. No, I don't have patience for that. I'm a Pisces, so I like the flow, not the accountability.
Fine, just
I
I
don't
was
have an
just
idea,
wondering.
no.
But
No.
do you have, maybe you can share with us like a favorite episode or a favorite situation with a client, like a story maybe that was extraordinary or funny or
Um, yeah, well, um, I don't collect much this kind of things.
something that stuck out of ordinary maybe? I mean, it is not
uh,
very ordinary in general,
well,
but
I can maybe it's well, what comes to mind is something more that is happening here in our institute.
Mhm.
With my partner Ilya, she did a session still in the Netherlands with a Dutch journalist called Bas, and then he has another
Right, yeah.
name. You know the story?
Mm.
Oh yeah,
But
so
please tell.
yeah, it's very interesting because he really found a past life that he could, in a way, study and, in a way, prove that existed. And we are very excited because recently uh, came out a English book
Hmm.
from an English writer, Santa something, not good in names. And yeah, it was a story about someone else that was more or less telling the same things, the same battle, the same, yeah, the same. Also was a parachuter. Yeah, and then they could find out that they were in the same plane, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable story. Now they meet, and they were in the Netherlands for an event that we were
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So it's really one of these amazing stories that sometimes we have in this field. Yeah, with very concrete evidence that
Hmm.
it happened, and two persons alive with that also met in a past life. That's extremely uncommon. It's the only story I know with some research in between with this. So yeah, that's what comes now to mind. Yeah.
Yes, that were also they were saying that one of them might have stolen the story from the other, until before they realized that they were actually together in the same
Exactly.
place.
That's why Bas was interested because and the publisher, because well, someone is stealing our
Yes,
story, and then they found out these amazing. They are even buried 20 meters apart in the same cemetery.
amazing.
So it's really unbelievable.
Yeah.
And what is interesting is that the English guy that now came with the book later, um, he gave already an interview in 2000 with these memories that were spontaneous memories since he was a child. Um, and so the session that Ilya did with Bas was in 2005. So it was 5 years later, and Bas, yeah, he's a Dutch, was not following these small interviews that were done in
Hmm.
England.
Hmm.
So, very difficult that Bas would make it up, and he would not make it up because we know him. He's a serious guy. So it was unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bas actually joined us when we had an online conference, 2021, I think.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, yeah,
22.
yeah,
Yeah, he came for one of the events. He joined us online, so we do know him a little
yeah.
bit, those who were
Uh-huh.
there. Yeah, so
Yeah.
actually going back to Earth, how long have you been a member of Earth?
Well, I'm a founder. I'm a
Yeah,
founder of Earth. Yeah. So, my partner Ilya, we were together in that time. So we were in the beginning of Earth. So we were members since the start. Yeah.
wow, wonderful. So you've been there, you've seen it evolve, and now that we're quite now a big association, right? Would you have any kind of message or anything to share or say to the members as a advice to their
Well,
practice?
yeah, I have many things I could say. I really think in one side we should be empowered to really trust that we have a very powerful tool to help people, also in this life and also around birth and life in the womb. Um, but I would say that for me, it's very important that first, it does two things. One is integrates I would say, more the psychotherapy field, because I always felt it was was too separate in my perspective from the knowledge that in the last 100 years we developed. It's real knowledge. It's not nonsense. Some things can be wrong, of course, like in all the fields. So I really think it's very important to integrate the let's say more knowledge from the psychotherapy field, from psychoanalysis, from body work, and that's what I do in my training. We really integrate this more conventional knowledge into the field. So that's one point that I think is extremely important, also for the credibility of our field. Let's say in the larger world, not just inside of our group. And the second thing is that we really integrate transpersonal psychology and the field of spirituality. That's what I also do in my training. So the research in spirituality is really growing, and it's already it's already a lot. So hundreds and hundreds of articles. So I think it's very important for the credibility of our field and also for the quality of our therapists that the spirituality, it's integrated from the point of view of the knowledge that we know what's going on, and also from the point of view of the experience, so that we have experience in spiritual practices and we have our own spiritual practice. Everyone is different, so should be adapted. But so I think that combination would make really not only regression therapists, but real psychotherapists, people that can deal with the huge, let's say, with a large field of problems, and can help a large field of clients. Some clients, they are not entitled for regression therapy, or regression should be combined with other approaches. And let's say we can enrich our field in this way. And it's a strong belief I have. And let's say the last years of experience confirmed that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. It is important. I agree. Absolutely. So, and to go, I'm going to change the course again of that. So just as a last question, I would ask the question that Mario, your colleague also from Portugal, have asked you, which is, what did you learn for your personal life from regression therapy?
Oh, yes, well, so much. But let's say what comes now, and it's also a process of last, let's say, years. It's really the impact of birth. More than everything, I would say regression showed me the impact of birth, also in my personal life. And let's say how deep certain patterns get engraved, and let's say patterns that come out in moments of stress, and that they are really very engraved because they belong to the first memories we have. Of course, we have also during the 9 months in the womb. But let's say the birth as like a risky event where our life may be in danger, or people around us feel the life can be in danger, I think more easily stays stuck in the memory, and then can really shape personality aspects. Yeah, so it's really, let's say, a very strong contribution of this field to me personally. Let's say I'm still working my birth, because still tricks me, and yeah, that would be my answer to Mario Simões. Thank you for the question, Professor.
Great, thank you so much. So now it's your turn to name the next person.
Yeah, so so I would say Victor Rodrigues. Victor is in this field before me. He was my teacher. And he was also president of the European Transpersonal Association. So my question to him would be, or can be, Victor, how you see this intersection between regression therapy and the transpersonal field? How you see the connection between the two fields? How you see what's important in one, let's say, in the transpersonal field to help to ground the regression field? So I would ask him about this. How you see the links between these two fields that in a way maybe are just one field, but I would like to listen him about
Okay,
that.
very good. I will make sure I will ask him next time when I see him. Thank you so much, Mario. Thank you for your time and for sharing. And we do hope to see you soon in one of our events. Maybe you will be able to join us.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's
Thank
hope for
you.
that.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for the invitation again.
Of course, it's our pleasure. Thanks everyone for watching, and make sure to check the next episode coming after this one.